back to another episode of the Blue Honor Vlog. Happy December. Can't believe that it is already the end of the year. That's just blowing my mind. This year went by pretty fast, and here we are on the cusp of 2020. That's just absolutely amazing. One of the themes of December in folklore and many other belief systems is the theme of death. Not without rebirth, but now is the time of sleeping, and the world goes to sleep, and it will wake back up in the spring. But before I get into that, talking about that, I wanted to follow up on a previous vlog, the 5 things I want to learn or know. I finally figured out what it was that I was craving. So after I taped that episode, I went out to lunch and I got some sushi, and that hit the spot finally. It was just an avocado roll. I don't know, maybe it was the wasabi and the soy, but the black sesame seeds in there, the toasted sesame seeds and the avocado and just the wrap and everything, just absolutely sublime. So thank you, Okie Pokey of Albany. It was perfect. Thanks. So I finally got that craving out of the way, which made me feel a heck of a lot better, and it stopped me from eating everything in the damn kitchen. All right, so let's get back to the themes of December. So as you know, I'm the author of Blue Honor, Opdeck, and the Trilokia trilogy. So how does death manifest in my books was one of the questions I've been asked by a reader, and I think in Blue Honor it manifests in a very traditional means, probably something that soldiers, police officers, first responders probably have a better bead on that feeling. It is about Civil War era U.S. cavalry, so Army cavalry. It's during the war. It does touch on slavery. It focuses a little bit more about white privilege and in Emily and her perspective and stuff on all of these things. Certainly it manifests with Henrietta, and the specter of death is always kind of following her around, because you think of the traumas and things that she has survived, the things that have been done to her friends and family, the nightmare that she lived through and actually survived, whereas others did not. So there's that. So for Joseph, Evan, and Michael, there is, always that chance that they may die before, any of the dreams or ambitions that they have can be fulfilled. There is disease. Pestilence follows them. It was not, obviously, 1860. That the medical profession and stuff was not quite up to 2020 standards, which, could be problematic. In order to save a person, they had to amputate. And that isn't always the case anymore. They're able to save limbs. Amazing work that they can do. Even when something seems shattered, that they're able to put it back together. So in Opdeck, again, it's another war story. It's a spy thriller. The specter of death is the Nazis. Claire is facing, losing her life, as well as maybe watching her aunt die before her at the hands of even her father. Not just the spy that has kidnapped them on his behalf or Germany's behalf. So it's like you think everything is great for this affluent young woman, and it's not. And she's like whisked away into this horrendous experience. And the only thing that she has to hold on to that could secure her life is the thing that could kill her. So that's how it manifests in that. Trilokia. Sorry, I was eating peanuts before I filmed. Probably should have taken a drink. In Trilokia, it manifests in mythical ways, fantastical ways. It's a paranormal dark fantasy, so death is always there. However, death is not the end in this book. It isn't quite the threat that it is in Opdeck and Blue Honor. It's more like hitting the restart button on the game, and you have to go back and do it probably again, unless you saved. So there's a point where you saved, and that's where you start. So that's kind of how that is, and it's like you're talking about angels and demons. Now, when one of the characters dies in that book, they can shrink to what is their actual state, which is called an Atman, and the way that I did it is like a crystal. So the crystal protects the actual being, which is just an energy field. And then if you're evil and you're granted oblivion as a result of your actions, etc., you will be utterly destroyed. So that is like the ultimate death. There's no coming back from that, and that is a cease to exist. So on one end you have the nirvana, things are coming into existence, you know, and it comes through Zion and down through and stuff sometimes, and all the way down to Jahannam. And then if that's not enough to turn that Atman back around, you know, that karma doesn't come back around and push them in the other direction, then they will go to oblivion. They'll cease to exist. They'll be unmade. And nobody knows if that just cycles back around. That would be the great and ultimate question in Trilokia. And not even I have decided how that would work. That would be a very interesting future to explore, especially in light of Dominic and Morgentis and some other people, to see if they're unmade and they come back around, will they still be flawed? And will we still go through all of this again? Because, I mean, as we know, in reality, history has a way of repeating itself, and maybe these cycles, you know, are just signs of larger cycles and such things. So those are the ways that death manifests in my books. Death probably is a preoccupation of mine because it does show up. I mean, we are all going to face it one day. So it is a topic that I think a lot of us like to explore, think about. It can be scary, it can be inspiring, actually. It can make you realize, you know, you need to stop taking things for granted. It can make you question everything. It can make you angry. It can make you love better. It's a very powerful experience, at least for the living. So I can't tell you what that's like for the dead. As an agnostic, I tend to side with the atheists a bit and believe that you go to sleep and that's that. I hope I'm wrong. That's why I'm agnostic. You know, I hope, you know, some of the things that I've written in Trilokia would possibly be correct. So I guess this all manifests in a way with me exploring like the different ideas and stuff culturally, from my European roots to Eastern European or East Asian, South Asian, Middle Eastern, Native American even shows up a little bit. It's like you kind of have to know the myths in order to see them sitting there. And things are repeated from culture to culture. Nobody has anything unique, which I found extremely fascinating. So that's a little bit about it too. I can't think of anything else to say about it other than death is very prominent, especially in the series. I hope that won't deter you from reading it. It is classified as a paranormal dark fantasy. I would subtext that with horror, and a bit of sci-fi as well. So it's kind of a bit of an experimental thing with the genre crossing, and you know, even themes that we know of in recent social history of the Me Too movement. We have Holly and we have Mael, and we have them facing domestic violence, rape, sexual abuse, etc. And how those things disempower or empower us, and how it's used against us, things that we experience in the aftermath, etc. It's hard to talk about it because I just don't want to give too many spoilers away about that, because the third book is coming. So make sure you subscribe, because I'll talk a little bit more about that. Ask me your questions, and hopefully they're things that I can answer without giving spoilers for people. And if I answer them and I do spoil something, I will say spoilers. Okay. Thank you for watching. Until next time. Bye.